say is, if I was your girl, all the things I do to you, I'd make it go up my name, might ask who it belongs to. If I was your woman, the things I do to you, but I'm not, so I can't, then I won't. But if I was your girl.
Mullen to make it 3-1 in the grand final. Puts in the penalty and wins the grand final for Campbelltown City.
No one attacks it, comes back off the Fernandez. It's the goal! It's tied! Oh! And then Talisman's got another one! Harry should be back quick. Jake King done! What a shot! My goodness me! Oh, can't teach that sort of stuff. Sends it in, keeps it low, and it's gone in! It's gone in! LA Uni have scored in time added. Tries to get under control, and the shot from Tolland! Salisbury into a 2-0 up!
Still Butler with another chance, it's 2-1 to Playford! Persistence has paid off for Playford!
Long touch to the keeper, puts it into the bottom corner. Beach gives him a shoulder after that as well. He's lost his clean sheet, and he's lost his head with a red card! David, this is massive!
Skills to make the girls sing, and the geezers too, yeah, we're doing this thing.
Hello and welcome to episode 5 of One Game at a Time for season 2025. I'm Seb O'Neill, as I always probably will be, and joined by my 3 regular co-hosts, starting with David Grant. David, what is If you had to pick a box of chocolates it's your only box of chocolates you're gonna have to be able to pick for the rest of your life, what would you pick? You're muted.
Well, that's a great start,
go.
isn't it? Okay. There's a chocolate bar you get in the UK called a Galaxy, and I miss them. You do get them in supermarkets here, but you pay a fortune for them. So it would be a Galaxy bar, but it'd be a massive slab because you can get them in slab form.
Okay, fair enough. Mark Talbot, how are you, and what is your answer?
I'm well, thank you, Seb. I'd have to probably go some type of mint choc.
Oh, I actually had some mint chocolate ice cream on the weekend. It was quite nice. Alessio, how are you, and what is your answer? And you're muted as well, just to remind you.
Yeah, I'm good, thanks, Seb. I think mine would be one of those Lindt favourites boxes, but take out the dark chocolate ones because I don't like them.
Not a fan of dark chocolate?
Just the milk and white for me, please.
But in order, milk, white, dark.
White milk dark for me.
White's your top.
So he doesn't even eat chocolate.
What do you mean?
White chocolate. I love white chocolate, but it's actually
Just
technically
sugar.
not white chocolate.
Yeah, but it's called
It's actually
chocolate.
not chocolate.
It's still
Yeah, I know,
chocolate,
but it's
though.
actually not chocolate. Contains no chocolate in it.
Alessio, mum and dad are fighting again.
Hope everyone's weekends was well. It was warm. Of course, we had games moved. Nothing on the Saturday, which meant 3 days for all of us. Starting off with our picks, which leans pretty good into my pick actually. On Saturday with the spare day off, went to the Fringe with a couple of our commentating friends, Matt, Antonis, Christian, Johnny, I think was everyone, and I really hope I haven't forgotten anyone. I don't think I've forgotten anyone. And we saw a play, a comedy play. It was very fun. It was about football. It was about an English football fan. Some photos of it there. It was an intimate experience. It was at Holden Street Theatres, which is literally, well, pretty much directly next to Highmarsh Stadium, so it was a pretty good venue. The play was called "Why I Stuck a Flare Up My Ass for England." It was funny. It made us cry, if you can imagine that. We were all kind of emotional towards the end. But it was a very good show, and not often do you have the man of the play that you watch come join you for drinks after. So that was a really nice experience. He came and joined us around the corner at Highmarsh, and we sort of chat to him, took a train to the city with him, and sort of just told him how football in Australia works compared to back home, and he was utterly bemused for most of how we had to explain it. But yeah, a really good show. Would recommend to see it. I think it's, when is it start? It says there 23rd of March, so finishes this Sunday. So if you are looking to go to the Fringe, definitely a highly recommended one to go see. Very, very funny and very intimate and emotional, especially on a 40 degree day. Very packed into a little theatre. He very much enjoyed it as well. Mark, we'll go to you next.
My pick of the week is, I just wanted to jump on board with the Federation and say how good it is that they've included this year Save of the Week. We've had Goal of the Week for a couple of years, and they've now included in both men's and women's a Save of the Week. So shout out for all the goalkeepers out there. They're finally getting some recognition, which is great. And I think it's been very much a brilliant addition to their Goal of the Week. But yeah, I think it's great, and it gives that little bit of recognition. And we see some absolute cracking saves from the women's game over the weekend. So I'm really all for it. So well done to the Federation for including it.
Do you reckon that if this was a round back in your day, you would have ever had a nominee,
Oh, hell no.
if not a winner?
Hell no.
You never did anything of note ever? Do you think?
I made a couple of saves, and you know what, they may have, but we didn't have cameras back around then, so it's all just what I say. So it's great.
Alessio, on to you for your pick.
Yeah, so I just wanted to shout out the Sturt Lions with a great late comeback win for them. And I thought as well, it was a little bit surprising. You don't see it too much after a 90th minute winner, seeing the players actually jump on the coach. I mean, usually they maybe jump on the goal scorer or jumping on each other in the corner flag, but it obviously goes to show how close the connection is with the players and the playing group. And obviously John Fusco has given some of these players a chance as well, a lot of youngsters as well, which is great to see. And yeah, they're 3 from 3, a brand new squad compared to the years they've had in the past. And yeah, they just got it coming from everywhere at the moment. It was interesting to see how even after their first goal, which was an equaliser by Toy Sakani, he was taking a bit too long in his celebrations. You could hear Lachlan Duffy in the background saying, "Come on, we can win it! Get back, get back!" So they're really all in for it there, Sturt. And I just thought, yeah, it's great to see a great coach and player bond that you don't often see that much so early in a season as well. So they're one to shout about in State League One.
Absolutely, and a very big win for Sturt once again early in their State League One campaign. David, finally, on to you for your pick. What do you have for us?
I was just going to talk a little bit about the newly promoted sides that have come up from State League One into our NPL and how big a mark they're making, if you like. I was commentating at the weekend on Playford at Campbelltown, and quite honestly, the gulf between the two was extraordinary. And Playford are just playing, and as are Barculla, the other team that came up, just playing with a massive amount of confidence and so on. And they just look so comfortable at this level. I probably saw one of the best free kicks scored. This is it here. Daniel Ryan, he was about 40 yards out. We all thought he was going to hit this to the back post for a header. Instead, he did this and put it to the near post, and just a wonderful free kick. Not spectacular, but just something you don't often see. They had a lot of training ground set pieces that they did, and they just look so good at this level. And Campbelltown, again, just look all out of sorts. And, you hate to see it to a club like Campbelltown because they are a bit of a favourite, I suppose, and a bit of a regular. But at one stage, as if to sort of highlight or epitomise the state that, or the gulf between the two, there's a loose ball straight to Voigt, I think, to score as well. But to highlight the difference between a Campbelltown player took a throw in at the halfway line and he threw it straight at Penendez, and Penendez had nobody on him. It was just one of the most bizarre throw-ins I've seen. So Campbelltown just all out of sorts, and Playford just doing extraordinarily well. And of course, the other team, Barculla, having come up, they've had 3 draws, so they're yet to have a win, but they're scoring goals freely. 3-3 against Parahills Knights, 3-3 against Campbelltown, and a 1-0 draw with Adelaide City on Monday night, so 2 nights ago. So the 2 promoted teams were my pick of the week, and long may it continue for them.
Yep, absolutely. Interesting to see how these pro teams do. Normally there is some sort of voodoo where the 2 promoted teams tend to sort of do well and or make finals, David. So yeah, it will be interesting to see how those go.
There was another thing I was going to mention, Seb. Not really a pick of the week, but I was reading last week about a lorry that had rolled over and lost its cargo of football boots and very expensive sneakers. And interestingly enough, there's a whole lot of these articles have come online in Marketplace. There's a fella, Alessio, I don't have the surname, and he has multiple shoes and boots all up for sale at bargain prices. And they're all tagged, never worn. That's the kind of slogan he's got for them. So I don't know, take one, and what do you get? I don't know. I got 2, to be honest. So yeah.
Your response, Alessio, to the allegations?
I thought he was talking about, I heard that there was a truck that rolled over on the freeway that let a lot of chickens go this week. But this is obviously a different lorry that you're talking about. But don't play on grass pitches as much these days. So got to transition more to the artificial ground boots, and don't have much time to wear my old classic ones now.
Just trying to help you with a bit of a sales there, Alessio. Just my feed was just full of these shoes and boots coming up for sale. So if anyone's looking for shoes, Alessio is your man.
Neatly stacked. Very good. Well, if anyone's looking for boots, make sure to contact Alessio Karachi directly for any needs recurring to boot.
Maybe for a subscriber of the podcast, they get a discount.
Oh, discounts at door knocks. Wow,
was that a
David.
door knock?
I reckon it was.
Knock at my door.
Oh, it was, David. It was a knock on the door.
You got it?
I'll just go get it.
All right.
Surely the sales pitch didn't work that quickly.
Oh, wow. This door is getting a lot of work every week now.
Have a seat.
Who is it?
You'll never believe it. It's Matt Taylor.
Hey!
Wow, what a guest
Hey
to,
guys.
to knock on our door. Hello, Matt. Lovely to
Hey guys, thanks for inviting me on. I did actually get a message from that same Alessio bloke, David. He was trying to sell me his old boots, telling me how many goals they've scored in the past. And I just couldn't believe him. So yeah.
Might be a different guy. This guy says these boots have never been worn.
Oh, he seemed pretty authentic. He seemed like a genuine guy. So maybe I might reach out to him after the podcast.
might be.
If
might
you
be
mention the
a good idea.
podcast, you might get a discount.
Oh,
Is that how
another
it is?
another
Oh.
door knock, David.
Hang on, I'll
You got
just
this
go and
one
see
there?
who this one is.
He has to do
Yeah, hold
so
on.
much work
He does.
these days on this podcast, getting up, answering the door for us. Oh, he's a legend for it, but his legs must get tired. He's an old man these days.
Oh,
He didn't hear it. He didn't hear it.
No,
what
he
was that? What was that, David?
You'll never guess who it is. That's my cue, right? You'll never guess who it is. It's Matt Taylor's sister, Sarah. I can't believe it.
Guys, I got a good deal on shoes around, so just thought I'd pop in.
Lovely to have you both. I must say, I don't think I've seen this many comments in one of our live streams for a long time. Jacob Vanderhout just putting a bit of money there. That's fair enough. Also telling us to shut up and introduce Matt Taylor. People saying that they want Sarah Taylor. Finally, the wishes. Jacob Vanderhout again saying that you're a bit funny, Matt.
These guys are doing more talking in the chat than I've heard on the pitch all year. So.
There is. I don't think I've seen it. Is Matt Taylor 22 or 32? Can you confirm?
We'll go with the first one.
Well, apparently you look unreal for 34, so that's good. It is you, Matt. You are Salisbury's right back, aren't you?
I am. That is true.
What a start. First question to both you, Matt and Sarah. Just tell us about your footballing journeys, where you played your junior football, where you used to play for. Sarah, we'll start with you.
Yeah. So basically, juniors started off at Para Hills West. So our family ran the club, so it was only a matter of time before I started playing there. And then went to Para Hills Knights, played there for I think 3 years, and then moved on to Salisbury Inter. Like Paul said, there was a bit of a switch over, and so it was part of that. And then took a year off, and then Paul kind of got in contact with me and said, "Hey, come play for Metro," and I kept putting it off for a while, and then eventually got into Metro, and I think it's my 5th season there now. So yeah, pretty much that's what it is.
Matt, you?
Yeah, so same vibe. Played the juniors when I was 3. I got pushed into soccer. Went to Paris West. As Sarah said, our whole family was pretty much there, so it was kind of a given. Played there until under 16s. I think I was about 13 years old, and wanted to go try and give Federation a go. And Grandad didn't really agree with it, or neither did Dad. But I went to Salisbury and played in the under 16s. Played in the under 16s and the 18s, and then started to get into the reserve side. And then since then, I've spent about 5 to 6 years in the first team.
Very, very good. Another one of the both of you, I suppose, growing up together, both playing football. Do you support different teams? Did you ever get to play together? Were you ever really competitive? Were there any footballing fights between you two?
I guess one that comes to mind was just through COVID times. A lot of the time, me and Matthew would go kick the ball, have crossbar challenge. He wasn't too happy if I'd win. But I think just growing up, we just supported each other, and we would spend hours just kicking corners at each other, just trying to score off corners, stuff like that. But no, I think Matthew's definitely my biggest supporter. Will give me an unbiased opinion, an honest opinion. So no, definitely lucky.
Do you reciprocate that, Matt?
Yeah, I agree. I think it was more a friendship in the sport rather than a rivalry. We didn't really have a lot of times where we played together, and most of the time our games were on at the same time, so it was pretty limited with what we could when we could watch each other or sort of support each other at the game. But we do have a lot of good conversations about soccer, and it's always pretty two-way. And we sort of get a lot of info and advice from each other all throughout the years since growing up. So yeah, I think that's been really good.
Matt, of course, Salisbury United, captain, forward, formerly a defender. Yep. What is it like now, I suppose, after getting promoted and also working under someone like Matt Gaston as well over there?
Yeah, it's awesome. I probably reflected thinking about coming on here today, sort of where the club was at when I first sort of broke into the first team to where it's at now. And I think the first year of my first team, we finished second to bottom or dead bottom of State League One, got relegated, and then the club sort of was in a really tricky spot. Luckily enough, we had a really strong committee, and they stayed there and put the time and effort into the club to make sure it stayed afloat. And from there, the next year, we sort of rebranded in State League 2, finished second to bottom again. And that's when Matt came in with 5 games to go in that season. And he came in and pretty much revitalised the team, brought in a lot of big names. Like one of the ones that just chatted in the box, Dermot Harrington, he came across. But no, he had really good connections and his communication skills were excellent. So it really stemmed the team. And I'm pretty sure the next year we made finals, got knocked out on penalties. And then the year after that, we just missed out on finals after being first for majority of the year. But everything was trending in the right direction and the club was going that way. We were trending towards getting that promotion. And I think the year after that, we sort of aimed to win the league. That was our goal. And I think I remember Mark actually saying we would finish 5th at the start of the year. And the boys probably took it to heart a little bit. And we went out and pretty much demolished the league. We finished top by about 15 points, I think. And everyone let Mark know after that, as he would remember.
As I've always said, Matt, this is what our show does. We provide motivation for those clubs to go out and get wins. Actually, you can actually look at our record. It's been quite good this year as well so far for our guests. So that's what we do. We provide motivation. And that's actually funny enough. I ran into Matt after that and he's like, seriously? I've known Matt Gaston for a long time. And he said, seriously, 5th? I was like, well, I've just gone on previous years and stuff like that. I said, but again, motivation. That's what we do.
Well, we're definitely motivated because I'm pretty sure our whole team disliked you the whole year until the end of it.
I know. That's fine.
I know how they feel.
Yeah,
exactly.
It did fuel us. But yeah, and I think getting that promotion was huge. It was more a relief for the club. We spent a long time trying to get to that end goal and we finally got there. And then the season after that, first year in State League 1 was a bit of an unknown. We didn't really know what to expect. We thought we had all the right tools and the right players. And managed to make finals and beat Cumberland in the first round, and then unfortunately lost out to Bacala, who were the team that finished top of the table. So respect to them, and they've obviously shown why they are where they are. And going into this year, we've had some really good recruits, managed to keep hold of pretty much a majority of the squad, and yeah, going into this year, we're super motivated, and we think we're competitive enough to take out the league.
I suppose going off that motivation fact, Sarah, onto you. You finished 6th last season, but this season it's looking very, very good. 2 games from 2 so far. I guess where have you seen the improvements within your side, and I guess what is the main goal for the end of the season?
Yeah, I mean, obviously, like Paul came on a couple of weeks ago now, just talking about the team. I think it's been a big thing within the squad that we were always building up to this. Like, you know, we've got a lot of younger players in our group. Like, I'm pretty sure besides FFSA, like for a while we had majority under 23s. Like, we're just building on that. And then again, this season we picked up a few good players that really built that spine for us. So, you know, we're trying to get a key player for each position, like goalkeeper, defense, midfield, attackers. And like the girls we've brought in have really added to the squad, as well as like the core squad that was already there. Obviously the aim is finals and to not be the mediocre 6, as you guys would say. But, you know, I think to have the last 2 rounds has just been really promising, and it's definitely what we've been striving for. We knew like last season half our problem was we weren't scoring. So to see in the first 2 games just how well it's all working out. And yeah, hopefully can continue to strive with that.
Yeah, you guys look like a very, very entertaining side to watch so far and scoring plenty of goals. David, did you want to issue another apology, or shall I just move on to the next question?
I could offer a little bit of an explanation. Can't even get the words out. But when we did our thing at the start of this year, we were given a sheet of ins and outs, and Metro United had no ins and no outs. From memory, not one. So we didn't know about any incoming players at that point in time. So that's all I can say in my defence, and I'm sorry. But now that you're top of the table, I can also say you're welcome. So
yeah.
See, I keep saying it. We provide motivation. It was used. Even Paul told us the other week that it was used as motivation for his team in a pre-season game. That's what we do. And in saying that, I'm backing David up because we did our pre-season stuff 2 weeks before the season started.
Yeah.
And so we picked all this stuff, and then like teams changed and players moved like the day before cutoff, and we're like, well, that's going to really throw our predictions out the window. So.
Yeah. I think it was like probably last season when Matthew first told me that you guys were speaking about the women's side, and I was like, oh, I wonder what they think of us. Like, it's always nice to have an outsider's opinion. So yeah, there was a couple games that I would say we definitely used it as motivation and worked in our favor. So hopefully we're just going to keep using that prediction. I know one of the girls actually has your predictions on a picture at work on her desk, and it's just proven wrong. So yeah.
That's why I always liked when Seb makes predictions, because Seb really likes Salisbury. So
yeah. He's still waiting on that shirt, or has he already got it? Have you got that shirt yet, Seb?
No, I don't got anything.
Oh,
I'll have to work something out.
You got it. You got to sort something out.
I've got a Metro one in the background. So if you want me to take them down for 1 week, then. Matt, to you, you spoke a little about just earlier. Last season, you were probably the biggest surprise out of all the teams in all the leagues. Finishing where you did, nearly making the grand final. I suppose, what was that season like? I guess sort of week after week, sort of realizing what you were becoming.
Yeah, well, like I said before, as a complete unknown coming into it, we obviously internally thought we were good enough, and internally thought our level was at that level. But yeah, first half of the season, we sort of struggled. We lost a lot of games away from home, and we couldn't really string together multiple wins in a row. So we sort of had a chat midway through the year and defined our goals clearly. And based off the players we had, like we have a lot of talent in our group. It was more just about getting the mental side of the game right and making sure we were working for each other. And we really started finding some form. We managed to bring in some players at the deadline. We brought in Jackson Bullen and Jacob Vanderhout, who, as you've seen, are very good players and contributed to the final series massively. But yeah, going into the second half of the year, we were really starting to string together some wins, and that confidence sort of stems into training. Every sort of training session, we're up and about. The intensity was at a really high level. Everything going into the final series. And when we knocked off Cumberland, we had that feeling of it's our year. Like, we can do this. We're the underdogs. Probably struggled at home against Bacala. It was a bit of a lackluster performance, which we were really disappointed in. And then we thought we played exceptionally well away from home against Bacala. Managed to get the win in the day, but unfortunately over the 2 legs, we just fell short.
Absolutely, was a very entertaining final series, I think, for State League 1 last season. Finally, well, second to last from me to you, Sarah. How is it having a home ground at TK Shutter Reserve, not having to sort of play your home games at Jeps Cross all the time, actually having a home base, a home change room where you can, I guess, call home?
Yeah, I mean, it's been a big difference. Obviously, we had the first season that I was there, we were in just the shipping container change rooms. We obviously shared the brick ones with the boys and then transitioned to the portables last season, which are a bit of a difference. But now actually having our own space, we've got plenty of room. We fit 2 ice baths in there, like enough room for all the girls because we've got a squad of 40 between the first team and the reserves. And I think having that ability to be able to play double headers with the men's again is a big difference, because I noticed like the first few seasons when we had it, it really brought in a crowd and I think a bit of like camaraderie between the boys and us. Whereas like we definitely missed that last season and we got a little taste of it for one game. And then, yeah, so knowing that most of our games this season will be double headers at home, just hopefully it's going to be really good atmosphere for everyone. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. I had one more question, but it's actually been asked for me through the chat. It's from one of your teammates, Sarah. Who would win in a 1v1? Sarah versus Matt. In brackets, I back Sarah and her slide tackles. So,
I wouldn't go near her.
Discuss. Wow.
No,
Yeah.
I wouldn't go near her. If I see her lining up a slide tackle, I'm going the other way and she can have the ball.
Well, I suppose my question that I had was, if you had to say, out of the two of you, who is the better player? If you had to.
We can't answer it. Sarah's at an elite level, but yeah, we're both so different. She's a much better defender than I was or am at the moment. But yeah, I score more goals, so I guess you can leave it at that.
Yeah.
Goals are the most important thing in football, so.
Absolutely.
Well, I would say the opposite. Like, I think, Matthew's transition from a defender into a striker is so impressive. Like, it's not every day you can have a fullback completely transition. And I think it was his first game, scored 2 goals that weren't pens, but actually just from field of play. And, to finish at the end of the season as top goal scorer, like Golden Boot, when you weren't a striker for majority of the season, is an unbelievable feat, and he's come a long way. So,
yeah, absolutely. Alessio, Mark, any questions from either of you?
Do you want to go first, Alessio?
My question's for Sarah. Which of your kits this season is your favourite?
Oh my god.
I don't think it will come as a surprise that the all black one's my favourite. I think a majority of us girls have been pushing for an all black kit for a long time. And then obviously with the 20th year, it came at a good time to be able to do something special and change it up. But yeah, I would say it's definitely weird not being in red, but do love the all black.
Mark?
I've got one to start with. It's all right. How does it feel to be a relative of such a well-known and liked player of the pod, Matt?
It's great. It's great. I think I heard that I'm Sarah Taylor's brother, and my parents tell me about it all the time. They let me know you're just the brother. But yeah, it was good to know someone so famous on the pod.
Before
I actually remember when David came to our Bacala game. I reckon it was the final. I think he commentated it, but David came up to me. You're Sarah Taylor's brother, right?
Yeah, couldn't remember your first name.
We have, before we move on to David and whatever he has planned, we do have a number of viewer questions. Starting off with one for you, Sarah, in the same vein as Mark's question, from Jacob Vanderhout. What is it like being related to Goat Emoji Taylor?
Goat Emoji Taylor. Oh, it's very humbling. Just coming in every day. It's like, how many goals did you score this week? And, everyone speaks to me about Matthew and his goals. So, yeah. Privileged to have a great sibling.
Absolutely. To you, Matthew, from Sam Taylor. Ask Matthew what his goal celebrations mean.
So on the weekend, I did one of these ones. It was my niece asked me to do it. She's up in Darwin at the moment, so my sister's up in Darwin with the 2 nieces, and she asked me to do it because she watches every game on TV. So it was sort of a tribute to her.
Very, very lovely. From our comments, from Eric Sean. Hey guys, love the channel. Quick question for Matt Taylor. Thoughts on facing West Adelaide, knowing they got a strong group with established players like Jimmy Odegaard? Again, heart the chat.
Great comment. I think if you look down on the comment section, it actually got answered by one of the viewers. I think Jacob Vanderhout answered it. So if you want to bring that one up.
Is it that one?
I can read it out if you like. It says established players like Jimmy Odemwalder has to play more than 5 games a season to get that title. So we'll leave it at that.
We also had the league's in trouble if they can't stop this 6'4" bloke up front with 72 pace.
Yeah. To be honest, it's fair. It's pretty fair.
Another one from Adam Black. Has he mentioned the Golden Boot yet?
No,
not
but
until
I can.
now. You can if you want.
No, that was so surreal, the Golden Boot. So, in all seriousness, it was a weird season playing right back and then getting transitioned after we couldn't really find any goals in the side. And it just sort of, I kept looking at Liam Bebbington, one of my teammates, and just thinking, like, when is this going to end? Like, when am I just going to stop scoring? But it just kept finding its way to me and going in. So, yeah.
Speaking of Liam, I got a comment. Hi, Seb. So that's good to see some support for me. Onto more a question for the both of you. Who is the best player you have played with? From Ricky Mark Aunger.
Sarah can go first.
Oh, you put me on the spot.
That's the idea.
Honestly, I would say Mickey, like from my team as a midfielder. I think she's been playing through NTC, and she's really cemented her spot as like someone who people don't want to come against in the midfield. The way that her mind works when she's playing the ball and like stepping up to captain this season, she has a lot of good input and puts the best forward for the team. So, yeah.
So that's Michaela Haddad, yeah?
Yeah, correct. Yeah.
Yeah. I must say, having commented, I've only seen you guys play once this season, but I thought she was really good. A really, really solid performance she put in. So I just thought I'd throw that comment in too. I wasn't sure when you said Mickey, I wasn't sure.
Yeah, sorry.
Matt, to you. Also, Liam Bebbington's still waiting for you to stop scoring, by the way.
Yeah, and I think Seb commented underneath. Seb's the goalkeeper from Vipers on the weekend, and he's unfortunately copped the hat trick at Cumberland last year as well. So, I'm careful because I don't really want to get a fine from the team for glazing someone that's currently on the side. But I think probably Matt Munch sort of got him at the back end of his career, and he's just everything he does is so professional, and his attitude towards the game is so great. I'd still class him as probably the best defender in our league today, and that's sort of at the back end of his career. So it's just, yeah, it's a pretty clear answer for me.
Yep. Well, you might want to regret that answer after I tell you. He sent you a message, a question. How much money has he lost playing Briscola on Thursday nights?
Yeah, that's actually directly to him. I haven't actually looked at it as losing money. I'm more just keeping him at the club, just donations here and there, just throwing games. But it's a bit rough when the Italian targets 2 Australian blokes to try and play Briscola, and we suffer quite regularly.
And then a few from your teammates still, Matt, who... I don't get these questions. I'm sure you do. From Jacob Vanderhout, were you born with a torso that long, or did that involve a surgical process?
Born with it, Jacob. Actually, born with it. But yeah, I can understand why you might be surprised by the answer.
A double question from Mitch Call. First one: is Liam Bebbington the best trainer at Salisbury? And can jet fuel melt steel beams?
I don't understand the second question at all, so we might have to bring Mitch onto the podcast to ask him that one because. But Liam Bebbington, I'm not going to answer the question. I might
you pretty much did there.
Yep.
Yeah, I might just ignore it.
And then finally from Jackson Bullen, what's in store for your next celebration, Matt?
I haven't spoke to the niece about it, so I'm not too sure. But I've sort of become known around the club as having no aura, is the words they use to describe me when I score goals. So I'm trying the arms out this year, like get the arms out, but it's still a massive work in progress.
Have you ever been able to do a backflip before, Matt?
No.
Are you thinking of learning?
I could try.
Maybe you should.
If I'd be able to play many more games after it, but I could give it a go.
I don't think Matt Gaston would appreciate that one.
Yeah, Mac,
Definitely not.
you can learn it together. David, on to you.
Yeah.
What do you have for us?
I've got a little quiz. I'll be very quick through this because I know that we're at the passage of time, and they've probably got other things they need to do. Do you two live at home, or what's your? You're not both at home. You're not in a room, the same room just now, are you?
Yeah.
I'm
Like you're not
home.
in you're at home. Okay, and Sarah, you're away. Okay, so I was just had this idea in my head that you were facing each other across the dining table or something like that.
The showdown.
All right, so we've got a quiz. I've called this quiz "Which Tailor?" The way this one's going to work is it's the tailors versus the panel. So I'm going to ask a series of questions initially to the panel, and the panel can ask the tailors for clues, but be aware that the tailors might lie if they're trying to lead you up the garden path and lead you to give the wrong answer. Okay, so you ready for the first question? Great, that's enthusiastic. Okay, here it comes. Okay, for the panel, how many siblings do Matt and Sarah have?
How many siblings are you talking the pair of them have or just one of them have?
Yes, as the question sounds, how many siblings do Matt and Sarah have?
So if we were to say there wasn't another sibling, we'd say 0. We wouldn't say 1 because
that's
they're
right.
each other's siblings. That's what I'm trying to
yeah.
clarify.
Yep,
Look
we'd
at
say
you guys
0.
working it out. Wow.
Yeah. Well, we know there's one because one lives in Darwin.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. Yeah,
True.
there's one other.
Is
One.
just out of curiosity, who's the eldest?
I am. Yeah.
All right.
Okay.
And I'm the youngest, so you can fit it in there.
Yeah. How old are you,
I'm
Matt?
34.
You're 34. Right? Yeah. That's right. I forgot. We saw that earlier. All right. And I know never to ask a lady her age, so we'll work off that.
I'm actually 45, so
I'm happy with 1.
I'll say 1.
I'm happy with 1, Alessio. All right, David, 1.
So you say 1. So 3 tailors in total.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, Sarah, would you like to give them the right answer?
there's actually 4 tailors in total.
Oh. Not including you two.
Yeah.
Okay, I was going to say,
So we should have gone with 2.
You
Should have gone with 2.
Crazy.
And where's the other one? Where's the other tailor? One's in Darwin. Where's the other one?
She's
In
here.
Adelaide.
Right, fair enough.
Okay.
Are you the only boy, Matt, in the group, in the family? Oh,
Yeah, I am.
gee.
The youngest and the only boy.
Yep, that's a tough life.
We apparently
Okay,
we forgot Matt's younger brother, Anthony Taylor.
We're talking the ref or?
Take both of them.
All right. You ready for question 2?
Yes.
Is that better enthusiasm?
Yeah, that was much better.
Okay,
I
good.
appreciate
All right,
that.
good. Yeah, no
Put a
worries.
lot of work into these, you know.
I know. I love them. Come on, what do we got?
Right. All right, panel, this is for you. It's a 50-50. One of the tailors, as a youngster, did Taekwondo. That was the main sport, and also played some golf.
Is
Which
it one of
was
these tailors?
What was that?
Yeah.
Oh.
Was this before or after Matt had the long torso?
I actually think it was Matt because I reckon we did a Who Am I last season, and Matt was
said
one of the
something
Who
about
Am I
golfing.
because it was also a FIFA champion, and I reckon it was Taekwondo.
If you think your
Well-
memory is that good, Mark, I'm happy to go with you.
Yeah, but I do remember there was a Matt Taylor was one of the answers to a Who Am I, and I reckon that because I remember the FIFA, and I think there was something else with it that he was good at. So I reckon it might be Taekwondo.
I haven't seen any Taekwondo celebrations though, so I would have thought
That's
it would have
true.
come up.
Oh, that's not Matt. Can't sing a club to save his life. Yeah, but they could be helping Matt out, trying to throw us off the path.
Exactly right.
I'm happy to go
Oh.
off your memory, Mark. If you
But
believe.
I just remembered that he was a Who Am I, and he was good at one thing, and the other one was the FIFA, because he was
Alessio?
a champion
Yeah,
at
I
FIFA or
reckon-
something.
Go with Matt.
All right, we will go with Matt
All right, Matt,
Taylor.
would you like to give them the answer, Matt?
I can't fight or play golf, so
Oh,
That's another point for Sarah and Matt.
geez.
2 questions down.
David.
You ready for the next one, panel?
Yes.
Oh,
Okay, the next one is one of the siblings. One of their go-to drinks is a cocktail called an amaretto sour. Which one of the siblings has a go-to cocktail called amaretto sour?
I've actually bumped into Matt Taylor on some nights out, and I don't remember him seeing this in his hand. So I'm going to go with Sarah Taylor for this.
I'm with you, Alessio. I'm backing you, mate. It's all good.
Okay.
Sarah, your turn. Would you like to give them the right answer?
That one's actually Matthew again. So
Oh,
it's actually an AT special, Alessio.
Jeez, we're struggling, boys.
You haven't got a point yet, panel. This isn't
No.
like you.
I know.
Okay. I'm going to give you another statement. So this is another 50-50. Last year, I received 3 yellow cards in the league, one less than my sibling. Who am I talking about? Which sibling had 3 yellow cards and which had 4?
you'd think the defender would have more yellow cards, right? You'd think.
Good point.
That's
If
a
Matt
nice
started
logic.
some of the season and the defence still.
I'd say he played
Oh,
the
yeah,
first half of the
true,
season at
true,
the back.
True.
But then
Seb, I
we
think
did
you
hear
need to take
about
charge of this one.
we did hear about Sarah's slide tackles though, so a couple of them might have gone astray.
Yeah.
I reckon Sarah. I think.
So Sarah had 3 and Matt had 4. Is that what you're saying?
No, Sarah had 4, Matt had 3, is what
Okay.
I'm saying. Do you agree, Mark and Alessio?
I'm with you,
quiet.
mate. I'm going to back you. I have no idea.
Yeah.
I'm just guessing.
I'll go with you.
so-
The only thing I'm thinking is I don't know how many slide tackles Sarah wants to do on an artificial at TK Shutter. So
I'm just wondering how many times Matt removed his t-shirt, his shirt after
Definitely Matt
scoring.
Taylor, 4 yellows for taking off shirt and revealing
Yeah.
that long torso. We're going to go with Sarah had more.
Yeah.
Sarah had 4 and Matt had 3. Now, I don't know if you guys, Sarah and Matt, if you know the answer to this, because this isn't one I mentioned to you before. Do you know the
I
answer to
don't
this?
actually know.
Sarah does. You do? What's the
Yeah.
answer, Sarah?
I'm pretty sure I got the 4 and Matt got 3.
So you agree with Seb?
Yeah. I think I
Not
was yeah.
No, not according to
Really?
no.
I
It's the
think
other way
I-
around.
Yeah, I think I had 4 going into round 10, to be
Yeah.
honest.
Yeah, Matt
Oh,
had 4
mate,
and
we
Sarah.
suck.
But
Sarah had
if Sarah thought she had 4, then that's like half a point, right? Because she agreed.
That's not how this works, Seb.
Do you want to give us half a point, maybe? Because she
No.
thought. Okay.
Okay, now you should get this one, panel, because this was mentioned earlier on. Which
Yeah, we should.
Of-
Doesn't mean we will.
well, if you're paying attention, you will, and if you respect your guests,
All
you
right.
will.
Relax.
Which of the Taylor siblings played their junior football at Para Hills West?
Both of them did. They both started there.
Yeah.
They
Is
both.
that locked in?
They both started there, and then Matt went to Para Hills after. Sarah went to Para Hills.
If Mark gets this all right, can we get double points?
If
And,
Mark's
and then
right, I'll
after,
give you 2 points instead of
and
1.
then after Para Hills, I think she went. Then she went to Metro after Paul reached out to her. She's been there 5 years, and then Matt was playing under 16s at 8, under 18s at 16 at Salisbury. Then he progressed through the first team.
Oh.
So it was both of them started at Para Hills West.
Well done, Mark. I mean, it's not even any point, and that's just this outstanding. I'm going to give you 2 points for that.
Yes, Mark.
yeah.
Right. Okay, so Sarah and Matt have 4 points, and the panel have 2 points. We're on to question 6. Now, this is actually, I've mixed it up a little bit here, because this is what I do in the bus on the way home. Think about how I can make it a bit different. I'm actually going to ask this question to Matt. If Matt gets it right, Matt and Sarah win the point. If he gets it wrong, the panel gets the points. And Matt, you can ask the panel for help and advice, but Sarah
Oh.
can't comment. Okay? Matt, your sister Sarah scored 1 league goal last year. Who was it against?
Did anyone commentate the game?
Can't remember.
I would have said probably Paul.
Yeah.
I thought David might have actually.
I can't remember.
I don't know.
I can't. Yeah.
I reckon it was at TK Shutter. I remember seeing it on the goals wrap. I thought.
There you go, Matt.
Goodness.
Or is Alessio putting you off?
I don't think it was West Adelaide or Inter.
I have a feeling it was like Bacala or something.
How certain are you, Alessio?
Not certain at all.
I'm going to go
Think of the teams
NTC.
around the mid-table.
I'm going to go NTC.
NTC, okay, Matt, you're locking that in?
Yeah.
Okay. Sarah, do you remember? You would know, wouldn't you?
Yeah. It
Wasn't
was
NTC,
Comet.
was it? Yeah. Yeah, Adelaide Comets away in round 4 in a 4-2 loss. So the panel get a point for that, Matt.
Well done.
Alessio.
Cheers, Matty.
Well done, Alessio.
You're welcome.
Good work, Alessio.
All of it wrong. The venue, the opponent, I had it all wrong.
And he knew it
David
too.
probably wasn't even commentating it either.
Right, so amazingly, it all comes down to this last question. We've had so many draws in these
Wow.
competitions. It's amazing. So Sarah and Matt have 4 points. The panel have 3 points. And now I've got a question for Sarah. If she gets this right, then Sarah and Matt get a point and they win the tournament. But if she gets it wrong, the panel will get the point and it'll be a draw. Sarah, you can ask the panel for help or advice, but Matt cannot comment. Are you ready for your question, Sarah?
Yeah, I'm ready.
Your brother Matt scored 22 league goals in 27 appearances last season. How many hat-tricks did he score?
Oh, I know there was definitely the Cumberland game.
Does that count though?
Does that
Because it's a
count? Yeah,
finals
league.
game.
Oh, in a league game.
Yeah. Sorry,
Yeah.
the season, everything, the league season, everything,
Okay.
the whole season. Yeah.
Oh, so league and cup. Oh,
Okay.
Top
Not
five.
cup,
top 6. Not
Yep.
top 6.
Yeah,
Sorry.
yeah.
league and finals.
I feel like he only scored 2 in most games. And I think the hat trick was the Cumberland game. But I'm not 100% sure.
Oh, what do I do then?
I don't know. Did you guys commentate any games where Matthew scored a hat trick?
Well, Alessio might
I-
have done one,
I did.
possibly.
I think I can't remember. I did
Was he on
commentate
a
a few
roof?
games
He
where
could have been on a
scored.
roof as well.
Yeah, I do feel like he did score 2 often, but I reckon there could be like one random one in there where he scored 2.
Yeah,
I
that's what
thought it
I'm
was one
thinking
at
of.
home. I thought it was one at Salisbury's
I feel
ground.
like there probably was one at home. Yeah.
But was there more than one at Salisbury's ground?
You know, I'm gonna go with 1. I reckon. I
Okay,
reckon it was just Cumberland.
we'll lock that in. And Matt, do you know the answer?
It's just one. Yeah, that's right.
Wow.
Ah, well
And
played.
Alessio
I
was
thought
the
we had you.
commentator.
I was like, do I listen? Do I not?
Oh, well done, Sarah. So basically, it's ended up Sarah and Matt have 5 points and the panel just 3. Even though I gave the panel double points for one of their questions, they still couldn't get close to you. Well done, Taylors.
Thank you for that, David. Any other questions from you in general, or was your quiz enough from you?
I think my quiz is enough.
I guess pretty much that is it. We do have a few more questions. One from Ben Dover. Hey guys, love the channel. Question for Sarah: what's the most rewarding part of being a footballer? Also love the humour from the Salisbury Six.
I wanted to say like being a part of a team is the best part about being a footballer. I think playing with people that you love and like celebrating those big highs just makes it so worth it. I mean, you spend so much time with each other throughout the week. So to finally get the results and knowing that you just did it together and knowing how hard everyone worked, that's probably the most rewarding thing for me.
Absolutely. And finally, for you, Matt, another question from Mr. Dover. Question for Matt. Thoughts on Cobra's dangerous forwards Nick Harpus, Andreas Panay, and new signing Mr. Oxlong?
Yeah, I haven't watched too many of the Cobras games so far, but I'm aware of both of them. I think Andreas is the captain, but yeah, I look forward to playing against him. So I'm
What
excited.
about you haven't heard of Mr. Oxlong?
Mr. Oxley, I think he was on the bench probably. I'm not too sure.
All right, we'll cut off the questions there while we can. Matt and Sarah, thank you so much for joining us. Pleasure to have both of you. I'm sure we'll have you on another time soon. But good luck for the rest of your seasons and your games this weekend. And yeah, all the best.
Thanks,
Yeah,
and thanks for having me on.
Yeah.
Thank you, guys.
Thanks,
cheers.
guys.
Matt and Sarah Taylor there, very, very enjoyable, and a lot of interaction from the live watching public, which is okay to see, I think. We'll go on as we do, looking at the results from the past weekend, starting in State League 2. Northern Demons winning 3-2 against Adelaide Atletico. Port Adelaide, that game played last night, but I actually forgot to write the score in, so I don't remember what it 1-1.
It was
1-1 between
yeah.
Port Adelaide and Gawler. Mobry Vista 3-0 win over Garn United. Then going to South, a 2-1 win for Noarlunga United. Mount Barker versus Eastern United postponed. Seaford versus Western Strikers a 0-0. And Titans losing to Adelaide University 2-0 with Salisbury Inter and Elizabeth Grove in State League 2 North as well. Another postponed game. Alessio, reason for the postponement?
We didn't really get an explanation. I think it might be due to ref shortages, I assume. That's the only reason we can assume, because I don't know what other grounds we would have that we couldn't play it on the Sunday. But yeah, that's all I know.
I heard it was the ref, the person that watches the refs, the ref reviewer that normally watches the game. There was none available for that game. That's what I heard. So it was the rest of that. They just didn't have someone that was able to oversee.
Very interesting. I suppose just looking at the results in general, Mark, 1-1 draw between Port Adelaide and Gawler, former side of yours, and then also Seaford, a 0-0 draw with Western Strikers.
Yeah, look, I think the Seaford result is actually a good result. I mean, Strikers are going to be looking to try and get straight back up. I mean, they brought Dalphonse back out of retirement to help them get back up. So that's a good result for Seaford, because we all thought Seaford would struggle a little bit this year, and they've been doing quite well. I did notice that Wooding didn't start, so he came on at half time. So it'd be interesting to see as to why he didn't start, but he obviously make a big difference in the midfield. And Port getting a 1-1 result against Gawler, who, I mean, Port are just still in a big transition stage at the moment. The coach is only a couple of years in, and he's new to the main men's setup. So they're going to still be rebuilding on and off the pitch, but they've got a lot of juniors coming through, which is great for them. So there'll be a few more years yet, but they'll be okay.
And then David, going to you, Hills Hawks going down 2-0 against Noarlunga United, and Northern Demons playing out a 3-2 against Adelaide Atletico up there.
Yeah, the Hawks undone in the 95th minute. I think a goal at the very death from Hamid, I think it was, and an unfortunate end, I suppose, to the 500th game for Nathan Elliott. 2 yellow cards for Brodie Dowling meant he saw red for Hawks, and there was a red card as well for Daniel Ryle. So they held out. I think the last 15 minutes the Hawks played with 9 men, but succumbed at the end with that very late goal from Hamid. Daniel Steele scoring the goal for Noarlunga, the other goal for Noarlunga. And the other game you mentioned there that I had to talk about was Northern Demons, was it?
You don't have to. You can pick another one. You don't have to talk about it. Just what I mentioned.
All right. Okay. Yeah. No, that's me done then.
All right. Well, then, Alessio, any more that you want to touch on?
No. didn't get to obviously see any other games, but I did think it was interesting that the two Reds before the Hills derby for both those players. And I didn't realise it was the 500th game for Nathan Elliott as well. But apparently I did hear he was playing up front. So he definitely can play all over the park. And it's going to be an interesting one coming into the game this weekend. And otherwise, I thought it was a good result between Western Strikers and Seaford. I think they're both two teams that are quite strong in that division, and seeing how close they are against each other goes to show that maybe no one's really going to take out this league quite as easily as anyone might have thought.
Just looking at the table, as it stands, of course, only a few games in. Modbury Vista top with 6 points, and then towards the bottom, Garnet, Gawler, Atletico and Inter all on 1 point each. But as we said, a few mixed games played, and then going to the south, a bit more balance, 4 points apiece for Western Strikers and Adelaide Uni. Eastern Titans, Noarlunga all on 3 points, Seaford on 2, and Mount Barker and Hills on 0 each, although Hills playing 2 and Barker only playing 1. On to the W. What are you eating, Alessio, by the way?
Yeah,
just some chips.
Just what kind of chips? What kind of chips?
Sour cream and chives.
Oh, okay.
Right.
He muted now, he's smart. On to the WSL. Sturt 4-0 over Western Strikers. Elizabeth Grove losing 4-1 to Cove. Adelaide Jaguars a 0-0 draw with Modbury Jets. And Modbury Vista 5-0 over South Adelaide. I think the 2 points for me at least, David, will go to you on this. Looks like it's Vista's season to go up. And Cove winning and Grove still winless after winning the cup.
Yeah, extraordinary turn of events, and I don't think we would have envisaged this before. I mean, I can't remember what we picked at the start of the year in terms of how these teams would do, but we wouldn't have had, pretty sure we wouldn't have had Elizabeth Grove at bottom after 3 games and 3 losses. And Modbury Vista doing a Campbelltown this year by the looks of it, and fairly comfortably clear. They've got a goal difference of 16, so they're comfortably clear with 3 wins. They're the only team with a 3-win. Sturt are on their heels, but Sturt have had a loss, so they sit 3 points adrift. Cove are next up for Modbury Vista, and they've had mixed results. They've had a loss and a win, so it'll be interesting to see if Cove can get anything out of that. But I mean, Modbury Vista certainly look good already. A 7-1 win, and then of course a 5-0 win over Sturt, which was 2 weeks ago, and a 5-0 win against South Adelaide. That's their 3 results. So they're scoring freely, only conceded 1 goal in those 3 games and scored 17. So they just look like they're well on the march. I hope it doesn't turn out to be too much of a one-horse race. It would be nice to see another team challenge and make it a bit more interesting, but that's the way it's kind of looking at this stage in the WSL.
Absolutely. We had a quick look at the table there. On to State League 1. West Adelaide beaten 3-0 by Adelaide Blue Eagles. Salisbury, as we said earlier, 2-0 against Vipers. Cumberland a 3-1 against South Adelaide. Sturt 2-1 against Fulham with the late winner, which you spoke about earlier. Adelaide Olympic 2-2 with Cove FC, and Cobras versus Pontian, I think, finished 4-0 in the end to Cobras. Mark, South Adelaide, what?
What? Yeah, look, I'm not sure what's happening there. Just things seem to not be clicking at the moment. I think what I did see of the Cumberland game, I did manage to catch probably the second half, most of the second half of the game. JJ scored for them. Is one of his trademark, get the ball on halfway and away he went. But one of the goals that Cumberland scored was effectively the same. The young lad picked the ball up in his own half and pretty much ran the length of the pitch and scored. So very nice goal, but they're just not clicking at the moment. It's just not quite working out for them. So they're going to have to do something pretty quickly to turn it around. They haven't had the best starts, obviously. So they're going to have to pull on those experienced players, the Rideout brothers, Parker at the back. I do know I think the goalkeeper goes away soon, so that'll probably mean Moss will come back in. So there's a bit more experience at the back again. So yeah, they've got to pull on those experienced players to help them turn it around this early in the season.
Yeah, absolutely not looking good there for the time being. Alessio, we spoke a little bit about that Sturt versus Fulham game. Olympic having a 2-2 draw with Cove as well.
Yeah, there's another interesting one. I think that was at Cove as well. So they seem to pick up some good points there at home. And looking on the score sheet, Matt Canny was there again. So I'm guessing they're really making use of their set pieces as they did in the previous week against Cumberland. But we had some obviously great picks from some of us last week. Both Mark and Seb picking the 2-2 draw that we're just talking about now with Olympic. I think in the WSL, I think some people had some picks as well. But otherwise, I think we all pretty much predicted the correct winners this week, except for the West Adelaide one. Big shock in that one, especially with how Blue Eagles season has started with 2 losses and how highly tipped West Adelaide were. And unofficially, I guess we can say that the new coach bounce for Adelaide Blue Eagles. And obviously, it's come to work out quite well for them at the hands of West Adelaide. A big 3-0 win, some goals from Dante and co. And from some of the highlights, it looked like they were just really up for it, and maybe a new coach is all they needed.
Yep, absolutely. David, finally for you, any to pick on?
Oh, we'll just start, I suppose, continuing that run. They've won 3 out of 3 now and they sit top. They're also 3 points clear of second place Cumberland after their 2-1 win against Fulham. So, I mean, yeah, start certainly showing the mark, but the goal came in the winning goal came in the 92nd minute, as we saw earlier on. There's some footage earlier on because was it Alessio you picked this game as one of your picks of the week? Was it Alessio? I can't remember. Yep. Matsuki scoring in the 92nd minute anyway, but that came 3 minutes after Tarkawi's goal, which had been scored in the 89th minute. So high drama there. Fulham were leading for what, 80 odd minutes, 70 minutes or something. They'd scored in the 20th minute or thereabouts, and 2 very late goals for Sturt. But the march continues, and Sturt look quite good, don't they?
Absolutely. Just looking at that State League 1 table, Sturt top with 9 points from 9. Cumberland and Salisbury both behind them on 6th, 2nd and 3rd. And then towards the bottom of the table, South Adelaide bottom with 1 point, Pontian with 3, as is Fulham and Blue Eagles, and the rest of that mid-table just being filled out by the rest. On to the WMPL for round 2. Football SA NTC having a 3-3 draw with Adelaide Comets. Flinders United with a 4-0 win over Campbelltown City. West Adelaide beating a good Adelaide University side 3-1. Metro United winning 2-0 against Salisbury Inter. And Adelaide City back to winning ways against West Torrens Burkalla 3-1. David, I suppose Flinders beating Campbelltown's probably one of the big ones there. Probably a bigger loss than we expected, maybe.
Yeah, I mean, that was a bit of a 6-pointer. I think they both lost their opening round matches, and so coming into the game to play against each other, I think we were all thinking that was going to be a bit of a 6-pointer. As it happens, Campbelltown have lost that, and Burkalla and Salisbury Inter have yet to get a win. They've only played 2 games, of course. They're a round behind the boys, if you like, but that's a 6-pointer for me, I think. And that win has propelled Flinders from, they could potentially have been 10th bottom up to 5th. Because in these early rounds, of course, it's all quite close. So a big win for Flinders. But look, I think my attention was also grabbed by Metro United. I think I backed them actually this week to beat Salisbury Inter.
I think you did, mainly because you were wearing the shirt from
That's
memory.
right. So they had very kindly gifted me a shirt, which I'm not wearing tonight because I had to wash it. I haven't had it off for 2 weeks, so I had to put it in the washing machine. So I'm not wearing it tonight. But I'd picked them based on, well, I'm not really sure what it was based on, but coming up against Salisbury Inter.
It was the shirt.
It was the shirt, okay. Coming up against Salisbury Inter, I was kind of thinking, this is going to be a real test. But they've won that, and now they top 2 wins, as do West Adelaide. Of course, they've got 2 wins as well. Comets and NTC haven't lost yet, but they have had draws. But that's a great start for Metro United, and it'll be interesting to see how they go against an Adelaide Uni team that had that surprise win in the first round against Adelaide City, although had a loss this week. They went down 3-1 to West Adelaide. So it'll be interesting to see how things go when Metro and West eventually meet, which I'm not sure what round that's in, but that's going to be a massive game when it comes round as well. So
I suppose Mark and or Alessio, West Adelaide winning second week in a row against Uni, who are looking a very, very good side this year.
Yeah, I was going to say, I'll jump on Uni, looking very different from last year. very different, very much improved from last year. Last year, they were effectively just trying to stay in the league. And I commentated on their last game, and it was a defensive masterclass, to be honest. So much a different side. But to be honest, it's kind of what we expect from West Adelaide these days. They went behind and came back to get the win. I mean, that very lucky there, the deflection for Nicole Blackhead, but she'll take them, that's for sure. And again, they just continue on their way. They know their game plan, and they don't panic when they go behind. They just continue with the game plan. They continue pushing forward and creating opportunities like that. So Costa's got them working like an absolute well-oiled machine, and that's just the way it continues to roll for them.
Yeah, absolutely. A very, very dangerous side. Looking, as always, as we'll have a quick look at the ladder. As we said, only 2 games in, but Metro and West Adelaide sitting top. Metro, top though by goal difference on the dreaded 6 points, David. Adelaide Comets and Football SA 4 points apiece in 3rd and 4th, and towards the bottom, Campbelltown, Burkalla and Salisbury Inter all yet to grab a single point, but Salisbury and Campbelltown facing each other next round will be a very, very interesting one to see.
I've just looked up when they play each other. It's not till round 8. West Adelaide host Metro United at Kilburn on the 9th of May in round 8. But I'm going to put my hand up to commentate on that one because I haven't done a WNPL game in a couple of weeks and I'll miss it. But that'll be massive, provided they're both still in that sort of region when it comes round.
And you'd think so, at least at this rate. On to round 3. Oh, Alessio.
I was just going to say, I was trying to wait to try and put a little pun in there, a couple Nicole goals, but otherwise, in our predictions, we actually did quite well with this one, and I got a little story as well a bit later, but David and I did pick West Adelaide 3-1 to win. David did pick 2-0 Metro, which was perfect as well, and Mark got the 3-3 draw between Comets and MTC, which I actually had Anastasia Willoughby ask what our predictions were the previous week. And she saved it and screenshotted it and said, all right, we'll aim for that because a couple of us had the Comets win. And then after the game came out and said, well, I guess that wasn't what we expected, but you guys really know how to pick after Mark picked that 3-3. So,
yeah, but in saying that, Alessio, I did pick a 0-0 in one of the games too, didn't I?
And you got that correct as well, though.
Really?
No way.
In the WSL, the Jets game, you picked the 0-0 draw, and that was the perfect result. So,
my God.
I'll go through it later, but Mark got 5 perfect scores this week. So,
my God.
All right.
All right. Well, after that, on to the men's NPL. Adelaide United 3-1 win against FK Belgrade. That game, of course, moved to the Thursday night due to the heat on the Friday and Saturday. Of course, then after that game, we had a 2-day break from men's NPL action to the Sunday. Parry Hills Knights and Modbury playing out a 1-0 win for the home side there, and a red card to Tim Henderson as well. Campbelltown City going 4-0 down to Playford at Steve Woodcock. Metro Stars and Adelaide Croatia Raiders a 5-1 win for the home side there, and another red card. Adelaide Comets a 2-0 win over Croydon, another 2 red cards. And Adelaide City with a 1-1 draw with West Torrens Burkalla. I suppose, David, we might as well start with that one. Was electric to start off with. And then you cursed it pretty much and ruined it for everyone.
Yes, I did, and I apologise for that. Yes, no, it started at a frantic pace. You know how when you watch some of these games in the first 10 minutes are just played at 100 miles an hour? Well, the whole first 45 minutes of that match was like that. And indeed, probably the first 10, 50 minutes of the second half was like that. It was just 100 miles an hour. And we saw 2 goals in the first half. And the game just looked like it was going to be bursting with goals as it proceeded. And I did curse us in commentary by saying this game's going to finish 3-3, Seb. And of course, there were no other goals beyond that, so I apologise for that. But no, it was a good little night. First time we've had to wear jackets and jumpers, so winter is certainly approaching. But again, as I mentioned earlier, West Torrens Burkalla looked really good for a promoted side. They've scored 3 goals in their first game, 3 in their second, and then only 1 in that game there. But they look like a side quite comfortable, as do Playford Patriots. Look quite comfortable playing at this level. So a good game, thoroughly entertaining. Did you want me to talk about Belgrade and Adelaide?
I was going to say we might as well stay with you. If you can recall your mind to about a week ago now. just about.
Well, I was just about to say that this round was spread over so many days that game, Beograd and Adelaide, was played on Thursday night. So this was the night before the heat wave came in. It was still quite warm. I was up there with Christian Marchetti. And this was an entertaining enough game as well. But I really feel for FK Beograd. They really needed the win. They opened the scoring there in the 23rd minute or thereabouts through Jared Clark, a header. One of the best headers I've seen. Fantastic the way he guided it in. He just used the pace of the ball to guide it to the far post. And FK Beograd, again, they played well. And Natsiopoulos was just running things in midfield. He's just a machine there. And then Tatu had an effort that didn't quite get in, but Joey Garuccio followed up and equalised for Adelaide United in 53 minutes or so. And Beograd just dropped off after that. There were gaps and mistakes and all sorts, just seemed to lose their concentration and give the ball away too easily, I think. And Brodie Burkett, the substitute, popped up to score in the 71st minute, and then they held on. Adelaide United, held on to take the points. But I really feel for Beograd. You know, that was a big game for them. They really needed the win, and now they're sitting bottom of the table with 3 losses, and they face Metro Stars this weekend. So that's a tough assignment. But and then I was at Campbelltown.
We might as well keep with you. You've been a very busy boy this weekend.
Yes. Campbelltown and Playford. So I mentioned this earlier. I won't dwell on this too long. Tabarez with the won a penalty here, beat about 3 or 4 players and burst into the box. Was taken down by Alex Mullen and conceded the penalty. Can't remember who scored the penalty. I've got my notes here somewhere. Talk amongst yourselves while I scramble through my notes here.
It was
Isaac Mullen. Yeah, Isaac Mullen scored the penalty, and then, as I mentioned before, there was I think the second goal was the free kick, which Daniel Ryan took. Now, it was a long way out. They were all just looking that they were going to chip it over to the back post there, and lo and behold, he hit. That's one of the best free kicks I've seen in ages. Just took everyone by surprise and hit it into the unguarded net of Matthew Centofanti. We had a little bit of a mix-up in commentary because on dribble, Playford had the goalkeeper was listed as the guy called De Souza. Nobody knows who he is, but that's not a team error, as I understand it. That's a technical error. Melad Ahmed with the goal there to make it 3-0 for Playford. And then their 4th goal came right at the end through, was it Samuel Voigt? I think it might be Samuel Voigt. Yeah, again, another mistake, straight through the middle. Campbelltown, I hate to say it, and but they really are leaky at the back. They just haven't got it together at the back, and that seems to be a big issue for them. Big spaces in midfield as well as the game wore on. There was just a lot of space in midfield. I don't know how they fix that. I hope they can, because it's not good to see them sitting down 11th in the table. So hopefully they can get that sorted and get themselves back up the table. But that's the 3 games I was at this weekend. And no WNPL. Come on, FSA. Roster me on WNPL as well.
I'll go next.
I was going to say, just before you do, David, we might know someone that can help you with that. We might know the right people.
Oh, right, David, put me in.
Yeah, we might need we might be able to help. Seb might know him as well. I think Alessio knows him as well. So
maybe I'm being a bit unfair. The guys, I get, it's a roster, so I'm being awkward. I should be grateful, and I'm grateful, but I do hope to get WNPL soon.
I'll go next. I was at Para Hills for the Northern Derby, also with Christian Marchetti. A game which was pretty much decided by mistakes from both sides, whether it was that goal there, needless giveaways. Para Hills, other than that goal, probably could have scored about 4 or 5, but just really unable to finish. This extremely unnecessary and loss of head by Tim Henderson there got him sent off just before halftime. We didn't even know what happened until we looked back on it. But just completely unnecessary. And pretty much from then it was Para Hills' game to lose. And other than that, it wasn't really too much of an exciting game for Northern Derby. Just like I said, full of mistakes. But it was really Para Hills defenders who were the stars of the show. Jason Thomas was probably one of, if not the best that game. Just solid at the back and very, very good for them. So and another good response, especially after their game against Playford last week. So big for them. Mark, Alessio, ones you want to touch on before we move on?
Alessio, do you want to go first?
Yeah, obviously I wasn't on any games this weekend, so I watched a couple of them. I watched that obviously had 2 screens for the Adelaide City Bacala and the Comets Croydon. And I definitely thought this Comets Croydon game was very unfortunate for Croydon. I mean, they did go down to 9 men and 10 men with a whole half to play. But I really thought they defended so well. And even when they went down to 10, I thought they had the better of the chances.
I agree with you, Alessio. They did. I watched that game, and I'm right there with you on that.
It wasn't until like the 88th minute where a somewhat decision for a penalty was a bit could go either way, I guess. I don't know. The referee was right there, so he could have seen it a lot better. But I think there was even a chance after they conceded this penalty where they went down the other end, Croydon. So I feel really bad for them with this result, especially how well Margush played as well to get a second yellow for, I'm assuming, chatting back to the referee. Maybe they're not very happy with some of the decisions on that night, Croydon, but they were really competitive for a team that a lot of us didn't have probably in the top 6 and didn't have any major standout players besides obviously Andre Carl and Luke Klimek, who've been there a couple of years now. And obviously they've got the keeper now. Otherwise, I don't think anyone would have had him in the top 6. But if they continue to play like they are, I think they're going to pick up points during the season. And of course, Aladdin Irabona, give him chance against a weakened defence with not many players left in it and a sub-keeper who's always going to punish you. But I'm sure David liked the celebration as well when he saw it back.
I don't know, it was way before you guys' time, but Gordon Strachan scored for Scotland in the 1986 World Cup against West Germany, and Seb will probably try and look that up just now, I suppose, unless we get them for copyright. But and he did a similar goal celebration. He ran to the advertising. Gordon Strachan. Yeah, he played for Aberdeen and then Manchester United. He was one of Ferguson's players in the 80s, and he managed Scotland for a while, and he managed Leeds, I think. He played for Leeds. Anyway, he had scored a goal against West Germany, as they were then known, in the 1986 World Cup in Mexico, and ran to the advertising hoarding just like Irabona there. And he's a very small guy, and he couldn't jump it. So as he got to it, he sort of sat there and put his foot up on it, and it became an iconic celebration at the time. But
and for our younger viewers, I was going to say, just for our here it is.
Couldn't jump over it.
And just for our younger viewers, it's probably known for as Garnacho now from Manchester United.
Garnacho, Ronaldo, Salah. I think they've all done it a couple of times now.
Yeah. Mark, finally you were
Metro. I was at Metro. Yeah, Metro versus Raiders. Actually, very exciting game. It started out that way. I thought Raiders were fantastic. They took the lead with a great set piece routine, and probably one of the shortest players on the park got up and won the header in front of Metro's ginormous backline in Fortunato and McNamara. But Metro just weren't clicking. It just wasn't quite working. Raiders' game plan was fantastic, and it worked really well. And then this is where Metro, they scored here. Woodfin scored. Windsor scored there, and then Woodfin scored just after this as well. And that Metro weren't really in the game at that point. They were there, but it just wasn't clicking. And then they had 2 real quick chances, and they took both of them, and that was it. And then the red card, unfortunately for Raiders, just changed the game. After that, they just couldn't.
Birthday as well, by the way, Mark Cameron Woodfin. Happy birthday!
Yes, it was his birthday. Yes, that's right. And he was fantastic. He was the one that led to that challenge there from Bradley Corbo, which turned out to be his second yellow. Second yellow. So up until that point, Raiders were actually playing quite well, and then after that it kind of fell off a little bit, fell away, and Metro then just put some icing on the top, really, with a D'Angelo header there, and then Porter also scored as well. So it was a shame for Raiders, because, like I said, I thought they'd actually played very well for the first half an hour, but it's what Metro can do, to be honest. And you just took away from his double save. I was going to say Barbaro had an absolute outstanding double save.
I'll bring it back. Hang on, it's coming back.
Unfortunately, unfortunately for Barbaro, Porter scored it on the 3rd attempt, but he made that save, got up, made this save, and then he almost actually got to that one as well. But eventually, Jake Porter with a good finish there, able to put it away. But I said, if Raiders play like they did in the first 30 minutes, I tell you what, they're going to be an exciting team to watch for the rest of the season.
Yep. Absolutely. Cannot disagree there. We'll have a quick look at the table. 3 rounds in. Metro Stars top with 9 points from all their games, as is Adelaide Comets, although worse off goal difference. Playford on 6 with a 10 goal difference as well. And Adelaide United equal them. At the bottom of the table, FKB grab with 0 points and Campbelltown only 1 point from 9 games. Almost unheard of in recent years. So very interesting to see how that situation ends up going. On to upcoming fixtures. Alessio, update on our predictions, please.
Okay, so actually, it was a great week for the whole. It was actually a very good week for the whole panel. I mean, everybody got a correct score this week. David got 2. His were obviously the 2 WMPL ones, the West Adelaide 3-1, Metro 2-0. Mark got 5. He got the 1-1 draw between Port and Gawler, the 2-0 Adelaide Uni win, the 2-2 draw between someone in State League 1, Olympic. He got the 0-0 draw in the WSL with Mob Bridgettes.
And you guys gave me grief about that one.
And Seb got the 2-2 draw as well, Olympic in State League 1. I got the 2-0 Comets win, 3-1 West Adelaide women's win. And I think that was it. So, David, 49 points. Mark, 76 points. Seb, 54.
Oh, I thought you were doing it in order of best.
No,
that was really
just how I write our names out.
It's just how we write. We worked that out last week.
I was really excited. Oh,
and me with 65. So,
all right.
Yeah, a big week.
That's probably down to earth. All right. On to predictions. State League 2, North, Adelaide Atletico versus Salisbury Inter. I'm going to go for a 2-2 draw.
I'll go for a 3-0 draw.
Adelaide Atletico 2-1.
Who's this again? Atletico and
Inter.
I'll go a 3-1 Inter win.
Garn versus Gawler. I'm going to go for a... Oh, it's tough. I'm going to go for a 2-0 Gawler.
I'll go for 2-1 Gawler.
2-1 Garn.
I'll go 2-2 draw.
Elizabeth Grove versus Mowbray Vista. I'm going to go for a 4-2 Mowbray Vista. Or 2-4, technically.
I'm going to go for Mowbray Vista as well. I'll go for Mowbray Vista to win 3-1.
I'm with David on that one, 3-1 for Vista.
I go 4-1 Vista.
And finally, Port Adelaide versus Northern Demons. I'm going to go for a 3-0 Port Adelaide win.
Is that at Port's ground?
Yes.
Yep.
I'll go 1-1 draw.
I'm going to go 2-2 draw then. Sorry, David.
All right, I'll go Northern Demons 2-1.
On to SL2 South, Adelaide Uni versus Noarlunga United. 3-1 Uni.
Sorry, this is Adelaide Uni and who, sorry?
Noarlunga.
I'll go Adelaide Uni to continue their form and win this one 2-1.
3-0 Uni.
I've gone 4-1 Uni.
Western Strikers versus Adelaide Titans. I'm going to go for a 1-3 Titans.
So was that Titans winning 3-1?
Yeah, because they're away.
Winning or losing?
So you got to do it. No, you got to do it in order. Because if they're their away side, then it's a 1-3
I'll just say
win.
the team that I think.
Yeah, but I just thought it might make. Does it make it easier for you to write, Alessio, or more confusing?
More confusing because I don't know who won.
I went, okay.
3-1 to Titans or 3-1 at Titans home.
Okay, so okay, Titans to win 3-1.
Who knew that this could be so complicated? I'll go for a draw, 1-1.
I'll go Western Strikers 3-2.
I've got 3-0 Strikers.
Eastern United versus Seaford Rangers. I'm going to go for a 3-1 Eastern.
I'm going to go for an Eastern win in this as well. I'll go 4-1.
Eastern 3-2.
And finally,
I will go.
Oh, sorry, I forgot about you, Alessio.
Jeez.
I got excited for the next one.
I'll go 4-3 Eastern.
What is the next one, Seb?
The derby, Adelaide Hills
What
Hawks
derby, Seb?
versus the Hills derby. Your
Whoa.
derby. Yeah, I know, right? Hills Hawks versus Mount Barker.
The David Grant derby.
Yeah, exactly.
The DG Derby.
Yeah,
That's
there
got a
should be
ring
a
to it.
trophy or a
Got a ring to it, doesn't it? DG
No,
Derby.
there's State League One. They have trophies every week. So David just got to send one through, and we call it the David Grant derby.
A face mold trophy.
What's the freeway between them? The
Southeastern Freeway.
take
Get
a
a
little
chunk
bit
of
of
rock.
gravel off there, yeah, or one of the dead animals, maybe.
Hills Hawks versus Mount Barker. I'm going to go for a 3-1 Mount Barker win. Where does your alliance fall, Mr. Grant?
Alliance. I'm currently not aligned with either of these two clubs.
Sorry, for at least this week.
No, I don't.
Could still be.
I don't really have an alliance.
And have a draw.
Yeah, I'm going to go. I'm actually going to go for a Hills Hawks win in this one.
Oh wow!
Yeah, and I'm going to go for I'll go for a 3-2.
That's one less Facebook friend.
Yeah. I can't win, can I? If I back one of them, someone's going to dislike me. The other camp.
I'm going to go 3-3 draw.
Alessio?
Two teams who don't score very many.
That's exactly my point. 'Cause
with
I think the defences are just as bad.
Yeah. Well, the Hawks have conceded 9 and Mount Barker have conceded 4. Barker have only played the one.
Exactly.
conceded another 6 the week after. But I've gone with a 2-1 Barker win. I think it's going to be very, very close. There's not a lot separating these teams. But again, we talked about 6-pointers in other parts of the season. I think this could be 6-pointer the way of hopefully us.
What score did I give? 3-1?
Yeah. No, you gave a 3-2 to Hawks.
Okay, 3-2 is good.
Round 4 of the WSL, Cove versus Modbury Vista. I'm going to go for a 1-4 Modbury Vista win.
What does that mean? Someone else go first. I haven't quite got it ready.
I'm going
Vista.
I was going to say, I'm just deciding on how many they're going to score. I'll say they're going to score 4. Oh, I'm not conceding.
I think Modbury Vista will score.
That is
4
normally
as
what
well.
4-0 means, Mark. Sorry,
I didn't say 4-0. I just said 4.
Oh, my apologies. David.
I reckon Modbury Vista will score 4 as well, but I think Cove will surprise you. I think they'll get 2. So that makes it a 4-2-2-4 score, Alessio, for a 4-2 for the away team.
It does. Sturt versus Elizabeth Grove. I'm going to go for a 4-0 Sturt win.
Yeah, I'm going to go for I'll go for 4-1. Grove will get a goal, but Sturt will get 4.
I've gone 3-0 Sturt.
I'll go 5-0 Sturt.
Western Strikers versus Modbury Jets. I'm going to go for a 3-1 Modbury Jets win. Away.
I'll go 2-2 draw.
2-1 to Jets.
I'll go 2-1 to Jets as well.
Finally, South Adelaide versus Adelaide Jaguars. I'm going to go for a 2-2 draw.
Souths to win 3-2.
Yeah, South Adelaide to win this one 4-2.
I'm going to go the Mark Talbot special 0-0 draw.
State League 1. South Adelaide versus Adelaide Olympic. Is this a Friday night game, Mark? Do you know?
It is a Friday night game, yes.
Normally,
Down south.
Normally a good omen for South Adelaide, so I'm going to predict Olympic to win 5-0.
Oh, gee whiz.
They're going to be round at your house.
Are you? It's too far for them. Mark, are you going to predict any closer?
Yes, I am.
4.
Olympic to win 2-1.
Yeah, 5-1.
I'll go Olympic to win 3-1.
I was doing the same 3-1 Olympic.
Salisbury United versus Adelaide Blue Eagles. I'm going to go... Well, actually, this is the first one where we had a guest on. Therefore, Salisbury will win 3-2.
We had Metro. We picked the Metro WSL, didn't we, earlier? The WMPL.
Yeah,
We had that one yet?
We haven't done
later.
Not yet.
We haven't done it yet. What was it? Salisbury against who?
Blue Eagles.
Salisbury 2-1.
I'll go for Salisbury as well, 3-2.
I've gone the same 2-1 Salisbury.
Cove versus this club's favourite podcast, Vipers. I'm going to go for...
Is it Angle Park?
No, it's at Cove. 2-1 Cove. Sorry. Vipers.
I'm going to try and win some friends at Vipers, and I'll back them to win this one 3-1.
I got 2-2 draw.
I will go a 3-2 Vipers.
Fulham versus Cumberland. I'm going to go for a 2-2 draw.
I'll go for a Cumberland win, 3-2.
Cumberland 3-1.
I've gone 2-2 draw as well.
Cobras versus West Adelaide. I'm going to go for a 2-0 West Adelaide.
Oh, this is a tough one.
I'm sure there's a cup on this one too.
Yeah, I was going to say no confirmed cups until before kickoff, but I'm going 3-0 West Adelaide.
I'll go for West Adelaide winners. Sorry.
What are you going to go, David?
No, you go first, Mark.
3-1 West Adelaide.
I'll go for 3-1 West Adelaide as well.
And finally, Pontian versus Sturt. I'm going to go for a 4-0 Sturt win.
I'll go for 3-1 for Sturt.
5-0 for Sturt.
This is at the tough home ground of Pontian. I'm going to go a 2-0 Sturt.
On to WMPL, Adelaide Comets versus Adelaide City. I'm going to go for a Comets 3-1 win.
Sorry, what was the game?
Comets City.
Comets versus City.
Comets versus City. Watched a little bit of Adelaide City the other night. They looked all right, didn't they? They beat Burculla in the game before we were.
Mm-hmm.
So I'll give them the benefit of the doubt. I'll go for a draw in this one, 2-2. That's not actually favouring, is it?
No, not at all.
No.
Comets 3-2.
I've gone 3-2 Comets as well.
Has everyone done it?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Adelaide Uni versus Metro United. This one's interesting, I think.
Metro 2-0.
I think, but for me, Uni deserve points at this point. More points.
Have Metro not conceded a goal? Is that what was correct? I saw on the...
Yeah,
right, yeah,
you'd be right.
Yeah, but they've only played 2 games, right enough, but they haven't conceded.
I'm going to go... I don't know. I really don't know.
Take into consideration that the 1 game at a time percentage boost on results.
That's right.
I'm gonna go for a 2-1 Metro, I think.
I'm going to go for Metro United to win this one. I'm going to go for a 3-0 win.
I think it'll be close, really close.
I've gone 4-3 Metro.
Wow, okay. Salisbury Inter versus Campbelltown. A big game for both of these sides, wanting their first points of the whole season. I think Inter will win 2-0.
Into 3-0.
Yeah, it hasn't quite clicked for Campbelltown City yet. They've got a lot of new players in, and they just haven't quite gelled. So it's going to be a Salisbury win, Salisbury Inter win, 3-2.
I've gone 4-0 Inter.
Flinders versus Football SA, my game this weekend. I'm going to go for a 4-2 NTC win.
I think NTC will win this as well. I agree with you there, and it'll be 3-0.
I'm going 3-1 NTC.
I've gone 3-2 NTC.
And finally, a Saturday afternoon game, West Torrens Burkalla versus West Adelaide. I'm going to go for a 4-0 West Adelaide.
Yeah, 5-1 and Yamada to score a hat trick.
I've gone 4-1 West Adelaide.
And I'll go for a West Adelaide win as well in this one. I'll go for 5-1.
Men's NPL, Adelaide Croatia Raiders versus West Torrens Burkalla. I'm going to go for 3-1 Burks. Methinks.
So all draw.
Sorry, just bringing it up. I will go for a Burkalla win in this, 2-0.
Who was the other team again? Burks and
Croatia.
In the men's.
Yes.
And this is at where? At
the Croatia.
Isn't this a Friday night? It's a Friday night game, actually, I think.
Yeah. In South Australia.
I'm gonna go 3-2 Raiders.
Modbury Jets versus Campbelltown, ULSEO. I'm going to go for... It's interesting because I think they're both kind of bad right now.
Yeah.
You mean
I was
out
thinking
of
the
form?
same. They both really need a result, really need to pick up
okay,
points.
I probably put it a bit too bluntly, but it's me being honest. 1-1.
Yeah, it's two sides that are not on form just now at all.
Yeah, that's a more elegant way to put it, I think, David.
And we've seen them in the flesh as well, so I'm a bit more familiar with this than some of the other teams. I'm going to go for a draw, and it'll be 2-2.
0-0 draw.
I was thinking about
this is
that.
a fantastic call from all of us. So Mark's the 0-0, Seb's the 1-1, David's the 2-2, and I've written it already down, 3-3 draw.
Will this be the first time that you possibly get to commentate your cousin as well, Alessio?
It will be, yeah. And I did talk to Johnny about this, not only about that, but I thought both teams obviously needing a win, needing a point, and what's the bet it's going to be, just a solitary one. But yeah, it'll be the first time I commentate my cousin. I've been to all of his games, but mostly just as a watcher. I didn't want to have any pressure of trying to make the moment about me, more about him. So,
well, you can do it this Friday. Yes, David.
I just mentioned to you, Alessio, that I covered the game at the weekend that he played in, and he only played the 45 minutes. He was dragged at half time. In fact, both the wingers were taken off. So a change of formation, change of tactic, which I think it's what they needed to do because they needed to change something. But I felt for him because I thought his first 45 minutes he was very good. Very good. I mean, he's only a wee guy, but he's got pace and he's got skill and he's got vision and his passing was good too. So I felt for him because I thought he had a very good first half. But obviously, the team dynamic was to change. They wanted to change the formation or whatever, and he was an unfortunate casualty in terms of him being taken off the field. Apaya on the far side, I think, was the other substitute. So both wingers removed, but he was very good.
Yeah, I told him I thought it was probably the best game in the first team environment that I've seen him play so far. And he's been quite unlucky the last couple of weeks because even in the game against Burkalla, he had one cleared off the line. In this game, I think it was Appiah actually got in the way of one of his shots that was probably destined to goal. So he's definitely trying to rectify that this week and try and get his first senior goal. But yeah, I'm hoping for more from them. And yeah, just hopefully if both defences are quite weak, then at least he could break through with one of them and claim something out of this game if neither team can.
Yeah.
But he's only playing against one of those defences, right? He's not going to go down the other end and.
Well, the own goals are a thing as well. If he's in his own defence and does it the wrong way, you never know. But
on to Adelaide Comets versus Para Hills, my Friday night game. David, you're going to be with me on this one?
At this stage, I am, yes.
Okay, it's good to hear. I'm going to go for a 2-2 draw as long as David shuts his mouth after 20 minutes.
Well, I'm happy to shut my mouth for 90 minutes if you want, pal. I'll go for no. I'm going to go for Comets to win this. They're on form. They've only conceded one. This is how they started last year, hardly conceding and playing well. Won all 3 of their first 3 games. So I'm going to go for Comets win in this. And in typical Comets fashion this year, it'll be a goal in the 89th minute and a goal in the 91st minute, and they'll win 2-0.
I was going to go exactly the same, David. I'm going to go exactly the same.
2-0.
Comets 2-0, yeah, with late goals.
Actually, there's been a red card at every game there so far, I think, for the men's side.
yeah, I'll go with. I was going to say David said that they haven't conceded a goal. They haven't conceded one at home at all. They obviously won. Is it 1-0? I think it was against United Youth. They won 4-0 in the cup against Vista.
Yeah.
They won 2-0 against Croydon in the league. So for this one, I'm going with the 3-0 Comets.
Playford versus Adelaide City up north. I'm going to go for a Playford 3-1 win. They're really good. They are not bad.
Playford look good and they look very comfortable. And I know they played against an off-form Campbelltown side at the weekend, but they still look good. And Ben Moore has got the greatest beard on a man that I have ever seen. It's a thing of beauty and wonder. And for that reason, I'm going to back Playford to win. I'm going to back Playford to win this one 2-1.
I'm going with David 2-1 as well. And yes, Benny has got a fantastic beard, and he's got them playing just some great football in the fact that what they do very, very well. That's the key is that they might not be the prettiest at times, but what they do so well, and no other team can seem to match it at the moment.
There's a real sense of goals. When you watch them, there's just a real sense of unity about them as well. Like observing them, they're all preparing. You know, they just seem like one, very united, and you know, it just seems to just click.
Yeah, I've gone with a 2-1 Playford as well, and if I think it's correct, Ben Moore was former Adelaide City player. Mark, was he?
Who?
Ben Moore is a goalkeeper.
He was a former Adelaide City goalkeeper. Yep.
So
he's played at Para Hills, Playford, Adelaide City. They're the ones I can remember off the top of my head. Adelaide United back in the day as well. He was actually on the books there as well.
Yeah, so I think it's going to be a memorable day for him, and what a sight it will be to see Playford beating Adelaide City. I think in the north will be a massive one to remember. So I think it's going to be 2-1 Playford, yeah.
FK Beograd versus Metro Stars. I'm going to lean towards, again, it's harsh on Beograd. I'm going to go for a 3-1 Metro.
Yeah,
I think it's tough because they're a good side, but it's just almost every other team. I don't know how to explain it.
Every other team's better than them. Is that the
No, not exactly that. It's just they're a good side. I don't know. I'll shut up.
It's difficult to see anyone other than Comets and Playford at this point of the season offering a challenge to Metro Stars. They just look a cut above the rest. Comets and Playford look like they might offer a challenge at this point in time. It can all change, of course, in a matter of months or weeks or whatever. But I can't see Beograd getting much out of this, I'm afraid. And I'm going to go for Metro Stars win 4-0. Sorry.
Yeah, I really like FK Beograd in the fact that they've got a great side. They're just not clicking up front. And I was talking to someone about this the other day. They're in that final third. They'll play really well for like half an hour. For that first 30 minutes of a game, they are outstanding. They're not making it count. They're only scoring 1 goal for that advantage. And then they'll do something silly and they're getting punished every time something goes wrong in the back line. They're getting punished for it. And I saw when I was watching Metro against Raiders last week, same principle. Raiders were fantastic for the first 30 minutes. And then Metro, 2 chances, bang, goals within 10 minutes of half time. So I think FK will probably take the lead. They'll go 1-0 up, and I think then Metro will come back and probably win 3-1.
I've gone 4-1 Metro.
And finally, Adelaide United versus Croydon at Hindmarsh. Big pitch. I'm going to go for a 3-2 United win.
Oh, yeah.
Agreed?
I think Adelaide United will win in the fact that they've also lost, Croydon have lost Margouche for this weekend, they've lost Bolmer-Paul for this weekend through the two Reds.
Also good to know, it's international break. So the A-League men's team paused, so therefore possibly they could bring down, I'm not sure who, but they could.
They could effectively drop a couple of players back for game time. So I was going to go for an Adelaide United win, 4-1.
I'll also go for an Adelaide United win in this one for all the reasons you mentioned before, and I'll go for a 3-1 win.
I've gone a 2-2 draw.
Yeah, I hadn't thought about the possibility because it's international break whether or not who they could bring down. I'm not sure who. You could probably see Harry Crawford could possibly be one that comes down. Even I'm not sure. It depends.
Yeah. Don't stay down. Don't stay down.
Well, it is bringing down.
Look at the form that the A-League team are in just now, and the form that they're in.
Do you know? Fair enough. You're not wrong. Speaking of international break, I'm springing these ones on you. Australia's playing 2 crucial World Cup qualifiers for the Socceroos tomorrow night, starting with Indonesia, as clearly warned by David Shirt. They've brought in a lot of naturalised players and now coached by Patrick Kluivert, of all people. So there's that game, and then I'm also going to give you Australia versus China next week. I think it's a Tuesday night game. So I'm going to go a 2-1 loss to Indonesia and a 2-0 win versus China away.
Say that again, a 2-0 loss to Indonesia?
So 2-0 win for Indonesia.
Yeah.
And then we will win 2-0 against China.
So we'll win both games 1-0.
I'll go for an Australian win against Indonesia, but it won't be. I think they're not a bad side, Indonesia. I think that'll just be 2-1, and China will beat China 3-0.
One team we've actually seen in the flesh.
Yeah, I've gone 3-1 Australia in the first game and 2-1 Australia in the second.
And also I was going to say just for David, I don't know if this is what you were about to say. Scotland versus Greece?
Yes, thank you.
Yep. Scotland versus Greece. Is it 2 legs? What's it for? Why is it 2 legs? I don't know.
It's that Nations League that I don't
Nations League playoff. Nations League playoff.
So what if we predict? Should we just predict on aggregate?
No.
Combined?
Why should we see Australia one way and Scotland another way? Equal rights and all that.
Okay.
I'll back Scotland to win in Greece on Friday morning, 2-0, and I'll back Scotland to beat Greece on Monday morning at 3:30 a.m. By 3-2.
I'm going to say Greece will win in Greece 3-0, and then Scotland to win 4-1, taking it to extra time, in which Scotland will win from a late penalty.
So 5-1 Scotland in the second leg after extra time.
Yeah.
Scotland to win, Greece to win 1-0 in Greece, Scotland to win 1-0 in Scotland, and then hearts broken in Scotland after they lose on penalties.
Yeah, it's the hope that kills us.
Exactly right. I'm an Arsenal supporter. Yeah. I know.
I've gone 2-1 Greece in Greece and 2-0 Scotland in Scotland.
Very, very well. Unless there's any other international fixtures to predict, that's pretty much it from us. I don't know if anyone wants to, I don't know, there's probably like New Caledonia. Oh, there's some Oceanic qualifiers playing or something. That is pretty much all from us. Anything else from you guys to add before we leave for another week?
I'll just say I was going to announce the sponsor this week. However, we've got some legal work to do in the background that we need to do and get on top of before we can announce that. So bear with us and we will make it happen. But like I said, we just need some legal advice in the background and to go from there. So we'll keep you posted.
Yeah, absolutely. David, Alessio, anything from you two?
Nothing further from me, Your Honour.
Just coming out to the games as well. Couple derbies. It's probably the third Greek derby in a row, but you can probably miss that one for the Hills derby if you'd like. Otherwise, of course, there's some massive games in the women's and in the MPL as well. So make sure you get down to them if you're there on Sunday as well for the women's A League, the W League game, and the MPL game. Make sure you come to both. Both teams in fantastic form, and at a venue like that, you can't complain.
Yeah, absolutely. Will be a fun day there had at Cooper's. That's all from us for this week. Big weekend of football coming up. Hopefully see everybody around the grounds. Feel free to say hi. We'll say hi back unless we bite, which I won't. David might, depending on his mood. But other than that, until next week, bon voyage.
Bon voyage. Adios.
Alex Mullen to make it 3-1 in the grand final. Puts in the penalty and wins the grand final for Campbelltown City.
No one attacks it. Comes back off the Fernandez. It's a goal. It's tied. Oh! And their talisman's got another one.
Harry City back quick.
Jake King. Oh, what a shot. My goodness me. Oh, can't teach that sort of stuff. Sends it in, keeps it low. And it's gone in. It's gone in. LA Uni have scored in time added. Tries to get under control, and the shot from Tolland! Salisbury into it, 2-0 up!
Still Butler with another chance, it's 2-1 to Playford! Persistence has paid off for Playford!
One touch the keeper, puts it into the bottom corner. Beach gives him a shoulder after that as well. He's lost his clean sheet, and he's lost his head with a red card! David, this is massive!
Skills to make the girls sing and the geezers too, yeah, we're doing this thing.